Hey, Whipple Like Butter family, it's your girl Ashley. Y'all, we've been making a lot of big bumps lately, so I had to bust out with the I Like Big Bumps apron. Go ahead and click in the description box below so you can get yours too, okay? So, today we're making a mile high caramel pound cake. 18 cups of delicious pound cake. Here she is, y'all. She is a buttermilk pound cake base because buttermilk really infuses your batter with moisture and it really complements caramel well. We made it kind of similar from scratch. I switched it up a little bit this time from our regular caramel pound cake recipe, y'all, but she's divine. I like how the caramel is like sticky but was still like drippy and all that type of stuff. If that makes sense. Like it still was able to drip from the sides, but then when it dried, it really holds, and we were able to make a nice design on top. Okay, so of course you can get the recipe in the description box below and also the first link in the comments. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So I'll show you how we do it. All right, let's go. Okay, y'all, we're gonna start off by whipping that butter. We have 4 sticks of room temperature unsalted butter. You can also use salted butter. A lot of people say that it really doesn't make a difference in flavor, whichever one you use. I'm just a fan of unsalted and controlling my salt. Okay, and then we're going to slowly add our sugar and blend it into our butter. And we're going to let that mix until it's light and fluffy. So like maybe like 5 minutes, all right, before we go ahead and add our next ingredient. So I'm showing you all it's getting started here. You don't see it pulling away from the to the sides of the bowl yet. Once your ingredients start pulling to the sides of the bowl, then you can really tell that you're getting to the point of the consistency that you're trying to reach. It should definitely be light and fluffy and not grainy. You can tell if it's grainy just by listening to your mixer. If you hear like, like a little crud or something like that, then you can tell that it's not there. And also, when you go in and you scrape down the sides of your bowl, you can tell by using your whatever. I'm using a rubber spatula here, and you can also test it by feeling, which I typically don't do. I can kind of tell by now, but somebody else may need to. I went ahead and did an extra mix after I added the vanilla because I noticed that like it wasn't completely well blended before adding in my eggs. Okay, so we're adding in the eggs one at a time. We're blending well after each addition before adding the next egg. If an egg or two drops in there and it's not just one egg at a time, it's going to be okay, y'all. Just as long as you make sure that your eggs are blended well before adding your next ingredient to the batter, okay? So we're scraping down the sides of our bowl right here, making sure everything's all nice and blended before we come in and we alternate with our flour and our buttermilk. All right, so you always want to start with your flour, of course, and you want to end with your flour. Your buttermilk should be at room temperature. We just went back and forth until we added everything into the batter. So you can use a hand or a stand mixer for any of my recipes on my YouTube channel, on my website. It's going to be the same process. Just the stand mixer allows you to be a little bit more hands free because you don't have to hold on to anything that has to do with the mixer while you're adding the ingredients. I like to stop my mixer so I make sure that I'm not over mixing, especially at this part, because you only want to add the ingredients just until combined. I'm mixing it like maybe at one or a two, adding the flour. As soon as I see it combine in my batter, I'm stopping that mixer. You can see like right here, it's combined and I'm getting ready to stop and go ahead and add, well, I didn't stop here, but go ahead and add my wet ingredient. And then at the end, I go ahead and mix by hand so I can scrape the sides of the bowl, get all that incorporated and everything. And then so I'm making sure I'm not over mixing by just like continuing to run the mixer at the end of adding all the ingredients. So you can see that here, you can use like a heavy spoon if you want to. My rubber spatula is heavy enough for me to do this mixing process and I don't have to hear that. I don't have to hear that scraping sound with that bowl like if I was using a heavy spoon or something like that. Okay, so our oven is preheated to 325 degrees. We bake this cake for about an hour and 40 minutes. I recommend an hour and 30. Start checking about an hour and 20 and see if you need an hour and 30. See if you need a little less. See if you need a little more. Your cake could take 2 hours to make. Who knows? Everybody's oven is different. Um, I found out that my oven was not at the correct preheated temperature before got an oven thermometer. I bake by looking. I look at the cake and I also do the toothpick test to see if it's done, and I don't just, eyeball it or anything like that. I think that's very important. Everybody's oven is different, everybody's process is going to be slightly different. So, really tailor it, to you to determine if the cake is done for you. All right. So I'll do this in two parts. So I don't have like any spaces with my batter. Like sometimes like if you don't lay your batter right into your pan, you can get like a little tunnel or an uneven bake in your cake. You may try this a different way. If you have a different suggestion, you can definitely let me know. This is how I do it. I do it in two different parts. I smooth the top each time. And then at the end, I go ahead and tap my pan on the counter as well, just to get out any air bubbles. I really didn't have a problem with that before, but I was like, you know what, let me go back old school and do that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, and it's not gonna hurt anything. So yeah, I just tapped away. All right. And it's important to get it as smooth as possible on top as well. So once my cake was done, I let it cool for 20 minutes before I removed it from the pan. I'm thinking about one day y'all like trying to like let it cool for just like 10 minutes and taking it out and like seeing if there's a difference, especially like on the outside. See if like it'll be a little bit lighter. Some people say the baking spray makes it a little bit darker. Like the color doesn't bother me, but I just wanted to maybe like do it as an experiment one day. Okay, so we have a saucepan right here. We melted some butter down and we're adding our brown sugar. So we're going to stir, stir, stir until that's well combined. So it's like no longer grainy, no longer with like how you see right here, the separation between the butter and the sugar. And we want to get that into a nice little boil because we're making caramel, of course, to top this cake with. All right, so we have it all nice and combined. We have like a little slow boil. We have this on medium heat, and we're adding in our condensed milk, and we're going back again. You can use a whisk for this process as well, and blending, blending, blending. Get all the condensed milk well incorporated. So you see it's drippy right here, y'all. We're gonna continue to let it go, but we're gonna stir it occasionally and let it thicken up. You see it bubbling up, almost like we're making pecan candy, and you keep going until your desired thickness is reached. I know this is going to continue to thicken up as it cools, so I stopped here with trying to cook it any further and went ahead and added my vanilla and my salt. I just wanted the salt for a little extra boost with the caramel. I like the little salt taste in my caramel. We're done right here. We're going to go ahead and remove it from the heat, and then I poured it into, well, I was wanting to pour it into my glass, but I went ahead and let it stay, and then I went ahead and just, use my pot and pour it over the cake. But I was gonna pour it into my measuring cup because it can handle high heat. You definitely want to make sure if you're gonna pour it into something else that it's something that can handle high heat. Okay, and then you just decorate your with your caramel as you want it. I wanted the little drip. It did a little bit too much drip, but that's okay. And I wanted like the little swirl design on top just to give it like a little bit of something different. And I was pleased with the way it came out. So I went ahead and let my caramel set. And we put the caramel over a cooled cake. Okay, you don't want to put it over hot cake. I let my caramel set before cutting the cake, y'all, and it came out beautifully. I love the cut and everything. So we're gonna go ahead, of course, and get into the taste test. So I can tell you all what I think about how the cake came out, especially since I made a caramel pound before, and I made this one a little bit different. All right, y'all ready? Cause I'm ready. Go ahead and put it on the side. Y'all know I gotta start from the bottom. Gotta get that crunchiness first. Mm. Y'all, buttermilk pound cake don't miss at all. Okay. Let's get this caramel. Or y'all say caramel. I say caramel. I don't like caramel, but I like caramel. Mm-hmm. The caramel is perfect. It's nice, a good texture, a little thickness, but still real light, flavorful. Added a little salt for that little salted caramel flavor. You can add it or leave it out. I think it adds a nice boost to your caramel. Okay, y'all, so make sure you get into the description box and get the recipe ingredients. You can also click the first link in the comments. And don't forget to get in the description box and order your apron, all right? So you can wear your I Like Big Buns apron, and you can be in the Mile High Pound Cake Club with me. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.